What up? It's on a sick one to sobriety. My name is Robin. I'm an alcoholic and drug addict. We're gonna get into part 7 of Welcome to Minnesota, of the time where my whole life changed, right? So I get to this church. I don't know what kind of church it is. I don't know shit about religion. I don't know shit about what church is what. All I know is that this church was calling my name and I went to go see what's up with it, right? I walk up the driveway and I'm like nervous and I'm just like, this is, I don't know what to expect. But I didn't feel that weird walking into a room or the unknown, because I did that when I went to rehab the first time, the first 2 times, 3 times. And so it was just like, whatever, it's church, like whatever. I walk in and there's a dude greeting everybody. Like I said, I don't know if he's a priest or a rabbi or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what the fuck he is to the church, but he's there and he has a fucking Bible in his hand, and he's like greeting everybody, welcoming everybody. And I walk in, like full beard, fucking haven't cut my hair or shaved in months. I don't even know when the last time I showered, like I keep saying. Like I'm just doing bad. And I walk in and he's like, I've never seen you here before. He's like, what brings you here? And like fucking, I don't know why, but I just needed to tell him the truth. I was like, look, this happened. I passed by the sign earlier. I read that sign. Something told me that I had to be here for this church service right now. And he's like, amen. You know what that was? And I was like, no, I have no. I was like, if I knew, I was like, no. I didn't laugh like that, but I was just like, no. I was like, no, I don't. And he's like, believe it or not, that was God talking to you. That was a message straight from above, and I don't know what, right? And he's like, go have a seat. I hope you enjoy the services. And I was just like, wow, what a trip. And I just wish I knew enough words in the English language how to explain exactly what I felt in the moment when I walked in. It was just so overwhelming with like confidence and also like nervousness and like anxiousness, and like I knew that's where I belonged. Like I needed to be there and I felt like I belonged there with everybody. And I sat down there and I sat like in the back row, and people start coming around. They're like nice, they're saying hi, and I'm like, I'm the only Mexican there. Um, it was a trip because being out there, I was a minority, weird as fuck. So I was the only Mexican there. It's just a bunch of white people, and they're like fucking like they're all nice and they're saying what's up. Everybody's all dressed up, nice too, and everything. And we're just going through the motions. The service is happening, and I'm there just listening, and nothing's really clicking with me. And then they start talking about changing your life. They start talking about you get your when they paint the ashes on your fucking forehead. I don't know what. And just something just caught my attention, like, oh, I need to change. The life I'm living right now is not working at all for me. I've been living such a bullshit life that look at me where I'm at. I'm fucking 20 something years old. I have not one fucking good thing going on in my life. I don't have a car. I don't have a job. I'm so far away from my family. I don't have any friends. I don't have this. I don't have that. And I just start taking inventory of everything I do not have. And I'm just like, fuck, dude, what a fucking loser, dog. And I start tripping, like, but what do I have? I was like, I have an opportunity. Like, and this trip because I started thinking like this only being inside that church. Like, it changed my fucking mentality. And I was just like, I have an opportunity to fucking get my shit together right now and go to rehab again. It just is what it is. But I was so embarrassed to go back to rehab. I did not one bit want to come back to California. I did not want to go back to that rehab, to that Anexo in Escondido. I didn't. And I knew there was Anexos in Chicago. And so after the church service got done, they started, they give everybody the ash, whatever, and they give them the bread of Christ and drink the blood of Christ. And I was like, what the fuck? I thought, what the fuck is going on here? What the fuck? Why is everybody drinking that shit? And it was just a cool service. I thought it was cool. And then the guy who was giving the service came up to me afterwards, that he seeked me out. He's like, what you think? And I was like, oh yeah, it was cool. He's like, well, you'll be back? And I was like, I don't think so. He's like, no, I don't blame you. This thing is not for everybody. And I was just like, yeah. I was like, thanks though, appreciate it. And I walked out. Honestly, I walked out like fucking like a new person and shit. You know, all my fucking sins were forgiven. But no, I really didn't feel like that. I just felt like I knew what to do now. Like I had like that message, you know, from the high power and shit. You know, it was just so fucking it's so fucking tripped out. And I walked home happy. I remember getting on the messenger with my sponsor and telling them like, hey fool, like I'm ready to go back to the Annexo. I'm ready to go back to rehab. I was like, but I said, I'm not gonna go over there because I'm fucking ashamed that I only left rehab for 6 months and I'm fucked up. Like I failed the first day I left. And he's like, where are you gonna go? I was like, dude, I know they have some Annexos in Chicago. I have a cousin that lives in Chicago. I know a few people from San Isidro that moved over there to Chicago. I was like, I'm pretty sure I could connect with them. And I'll just go to the Annexo right there. It's whatever. And he's like, but look, look, fat boy, do you really think Chicago is the best place for you to be? Like, you look how far you're away from your family you're gonna be. Look how far away you're gonna be from this and that. And he kind of like got in my head, you know. I guess that's what the sponsor's job is to do, is to get in your head a little bit. And I was just like, fuck. I was like, no, yeah, you're right. I was like, what am I gonna be doing in Chicago by myself? You know, like I don't have nothing. I mean, I do have my cousin there, but we don't talk. Like I do know all these people, but we don't talk. Like he's like, just come back, fool. He's like, just come back to Escondido. Fuck it. Who cares, fool? Who cares if they talk shit to you? I mean, you deserve it, right? And I was just like, I guess, kind of. No, pues he's like, tú te mereces que te cagan el palo, que te digan tus verdades en tu cara. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess, but that's not what I want, you know? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I was like, all right, cool. I was like, look, let's do this. I'll go back to Escondido, but I won't go to our group. I'll go to Oasis. I'll go to the I'll go to the one up the street. He's like, fool, stop being a bitch. He's like, fool, stop being a bitch. Just come back to the house, get your fucking medicina, and call it a day. Shake hands, hug it out, and walk, and that's it. I was like, nah, but I don't want to, dog. And he's like, oh, you have to, fool. He's like, stop fucking around. He's like, do what you gotta do. Get your fucking fat ass back here. And I was like, all right. And I bought my Greyhound tickets. Fucking mission on the Greyhound. I remember buying my tickets, getting my. I left. I went over there with 2 suitcases full of clothes. I ended up leaving 1 suitcase over there because 1 suitcase of clothes was all dirty clothes. I wasn't going to travel with dirty clothes. And the 1 suitcase I had decent clothes and fucking I had some documents in there that I needed. So I brought it with me on the Greyhound. And I remember just at that time already the homie had moved back in because I told them I was leaving. So they're like, fuck it, we can have our house back, you know? And I remember the little girl, their daughter, was like, hey, she's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm leaving. She's like, oh, you're going back to your mom's house? I was like, yeah, I'm going back to my mom's house. She's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna miss you, Theo. And I was like, all right. I was like, bye. And then my homie's girl was there, and I just told her, I was like, hey, like, I'm gonna bounce. All right, thank you for everything. And she's like, yeah, fool, get the fuck out. And I was like, all right, whatever. And I had called the taxi, and I was out there. It was cold as fuck. It was like the end of February, like March 1st, March 2nd, around there. And I was just waiting for the taxi, and then who pulls up is the prima and shit. The prima with the soccer mom van. She pulled up and she's like, "What's up, Taff? Where you going?" I was like, "I'm going home." I was like, "You gonna give me a ride or what?" And she's like, "Yeah, fool, that's what I'm here for." She's like, "I know what time you're leaving." She's like, "Let's fucking go." I was like, "Sick." She gave me a ride down to the fucking Greyhound station in St. Paul. I shook her hand. I was like, "Yo, hey, thanks for everything. Appreciate it. Whatever, whatever." And sorry I had to steal out your purse that one time at nighttime, but it just happened, you know. And I fucking bounced. And I caught the fucking Greyhound from St. Paul, went to Minneapolis, and then I started traveling down the states. I went down to fucking Kansas City and Oklahoma and Texas and back down to New Mexico and Arizona. And before you knew it, I was getting off the fucking Greyhound in El Cajon for my brother to pick me up. And sure enough, my brother picked me up and he had to take me back to my parents' house. Now, before I got to my parents' house, you know, like ahead of time, I had already talked to them. Like, look, I'm going back home. I just needed somewhere to stay for a couple of days. Just let me relax a little bit, and then Obviously, my plan is to go back to rehab. I already talked to my sponsor. They're already expecting me. But I was like, before I go to rehab, I just want to chill a little bit, you know? And they're like, yeah, fuck it, then come over. So I go over there. I get to my parents. My brother drops me off at my parents' house. And I walk in. And then, first question my dad asked me, first question this guy asked me, he's like, what happened? like, like whatever he knew came true. You know what I mean? Like, what happened? He's like, okay, you were gonna be a big shot over there. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. He's like, I told you. I was like, yeah, I know I fucked up. I was like, I told him, look, I was like, I know I've told you this a bazillion times, more times than I could fucking count. Like, ya estuvo. I was like, but this time for reals, I'm done. I was like, I don't have nothing on me. I'm not high. I'm not even high right now. I haven't been high for the past week. Like, I wasn't even like with the last sack that I got, I wasn't even enjoying it no more. Like, it wasn't even fun anymore for me. Like, it was just whack. Like, it's just like, what the fuck am I even doing anymore? You know? And I told him, I was like, look, I'm ready to change. My dad says, he's like, well, you know what the rule is around here. Your words don't mean shit. Let me see with actions. He's like, I'm gonna give you another chance. You can sleep here. And my brother was like, yeah, you know, my oldest brother, he's like, you can sleep at my pad too. And so you could just go back and forth, you know? And I was like, all right, that works. And so I stayed right there with my parents for a little bit. Um, uh, my dad, I broke off my parents with a little bit of money that I had left from those two G's that I took. And I was just staying back and forth. I remember going to my brother's house, back and forth, back and forth. And then it was just over the weekend. It was like from Thursday to like Monday morning or Tuesday morning. Because I remember on Monday night, I watched wrestling with my brother. And then on Tuesday morning, it was my time to leave for rehab again. From San Isidro to Escondido, I had to bust a mission, you know? And my brother and my niece had to go to school. My brother, I don't know where, if he went to work or whatever. But he's like, when you get up, just take your shower, get your shit ready, and bounce. He said, don't trip. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I remember just feeling so down and out, feeling like the biggest failure in the world, feeling like I can't get anything right. Like, dude, like, I'm fucking 28 years old and I can't figure out what to do in my life. Like, dude, here I go again to fucking rehab. Like, no mama's way. Like, come on, like I was like, come on, dog, like something needs to fucking happen. Like, come on, brain, wake up. Like, I need to do something with my life. Like, this is not it. Like, this can't be my whole life is just using drugs and going to rehab, using drugs. Because there's too many stories like that. I don't want to be one of those guys. And I was just like, fuck, dude, that's too away. And I remember busting that mission that I busted was the best birthday gift I could give to my mom in the whole world. Me going to rehab, her knowing that I'm not fucking around no more, her knowing that I'm trying to get better, do something with my life. That was the gift I gave her that time which was the only thing I could afford, was the gift of her not having to stress about me no more. And ever since that day, I decided to go back to rehab on March 10, 2018. That was the last last time I had to go to rehab. It was gonna work out for me at huevo, you know what I'm saying? My life did a whole 360 since that day I decided to bust that mission. I remember getting to rehab with my fucking with just like a backpack of clothes. I still had my towel that I showered with. I wanted something sentimental with me, so I took the towel with me it was still wet when I got there, you know. And but this time I already knew what's up with rehab. I already knew how to program, so I took all my clothes with me. I took deodorant and body wash, cigarettes. I took my cell phone and I took $40 with me because I knew once I get out of those 3 months, I'm gonna need a couple bucks to move around. And I remember getting into the kitchen table and them talking to me, and I was like, yeah, I already know how it is, like whatever, whatever. And they're like, okay, cool. They're like, are you high right now or what? I was like, nah, I'm not coming down. I'm not high right now. I was like, it's already been more than a week. And they're like, well, you already know the drill. 3 days in the Cuarto de Malia. Have at it. Give me your shoelaces. Give me everything you have. He's like, the good thing, he's like, we're going to be able to serve you regular food, but you already know nothing but tea, no water, no nothing. I was like, yeah, no. And I was the only one in the room this time. I didn't have those other two motherfuckers. In this room, at this second time that I do this rehab, it was just me, the bed bugs, the roaches, and the rats.